we know a whole lot more of you by way of this transmission than we ever have before, and as a result, you're reflecting more of yourself more actively, and you're giving us more to chew on. For me, it's a big deal to make sure that I'm presenting myself, and certainly for my parents, it's a big deal to make sure that I'm presenting myself in a way that is in keeping with the real me, and that's a big deal. I care, my folks care. And this is why it was it was an interesting discussion with my parents when they noted that some of my posts, my more recent posts, had seemed like a sort of reversion into something that was not the new and improved me. And I'm constantly new and I'm constantly improving, as are you, I trust. You're certainly new on a daily basis. I trust we're improving. Congratulations, by the way. America just voted on its new president, and I feel good about it. It's going to be a long haul, but I feel good about it. Yes, anyway, we're projecting ourselves to the world, and I think we're doing so with our best foot forward, and I hope that we're willing to, I hope we're ready for some serious change, because it's not going to come free. Which I think is good. But anyway, that was a divergence. But being true and presenting myself as I truly am means, I explained to Mom, it means posting things that include me in less than flattering states. It means that I present myself, and sometimes I just make no sense. I make sense to me. But to the casual listener, it's like, what the hell are you even saying? Particularly some of my earlier stuff. And then in other cases, dude, you shouldn't even have said that. Just shh, And you'll find on one video, I did cut out audio for a rather lengthy bit, but it was because I actually invoked information that didn't belong to me. It was someone else's story. Not stories, I was telling stories, but it was actually my wife. And I think it's important that I keep my wife, barring the one conversation we did have on here, about marriage back, I think it was like week 6 or something. It's very important that, other than that, I keep her out of this as much as possible, because she didn't elect to do this. When she and I got married, this wasn't part of the deal. So it's important that I not include too much about her, because it's A, it's a different show, and B, I need permission for that, and I have no intention of writing up something with a dotted line. And so I explained to Mom, this is the big point I'm making here. I post stuff that is of varying quality, and part of the perfectionist in me it cringes sometimes. But it is, overall, in keeping with who I am as a person, and that is honest, that is expressive, and that is hopefully, for instance, you feel me? Creative is what I was going for. I was going to provide a disclaimer. Creative. So it's important that I maintain that honesty for the credibility of me outside of this context, this setup. It's very important that I maintain the meanness of me. And I let her know also that I hope that providing more context through more videos, you get a greater understanding of who I am, and my friends too, and my family as well. You have a greater understanding of who this person is. Now, you and I share no direct connection. Your fascination or interest at all in this show, I'm not saying anyone's fascinated. I'm saying that if you do happen to take to this, it is probably not on a personal level so much as the way I view your videos, which is pseudo-personally. You're presenting to me a persona that I appreciate as such, but I'm fascinated that you, barring your persona, present yourself by way of this persona. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's a little, whatever. I wouldn't... My point is, we all choose to do this. If we're posting stuff, that's our choice. Yes, we're presenting a persona, but the true us has decided to do this. And if that true us is doing it for reasons that have to do more with that persona than internal pursuits, I doubt it. I don't think it's a matter of choice. We do what we do for inherent reasons. Inherent not because they're inborn, but because they are integral. They are integrated. They are us. And so, posting honestly to you guys. Projecting myself honestly to you guys, myself and my kids and my friends and my family and so on. Being here honestly is an important part of being true to myself. So when my 90-year-old self looks at this, he can go, well, sounds like an ass, but at least he's honest. Done deal. My kids, well, sounds like an ass, but at least he's pretty honest. I mean, it's unfortunate because my dad looks like a dork, but he's honest. I hope my friends never see it, but you know how it is. And that's something that I will feel good about down the way. Not necessarily the content itself, though I hope I will. It's the spirit and heart of the content, the projection of that content, the dynamics of that content, and truly the clarity of that content. Even though it's muddied, the actual words are muddy. There's a clarity to what I'm doing, and it's important that I maintain that. That is the overriding quality that I explained to my parents this show will have. And my hope is that if you do have any questions or anything like this, the way I do of your videos, I look into what all you post. I do go to your personal sites if I have interest in your video to see how you project yourself on your YouTube page or your Flickr page. Or I don't actually, to be honest, I don't look at all the other stuff. It's YouTube and just YouTube for me. That's not an well, it is an endorsement, I guess. I don't shop around. I'm not a computeraholic, actually, to be honest. So I'm just saying, YouTube is a particularly fascinating window for me. And I don't go to YouTube because it's part of my roundup of the internet. No, I already do that with video game sites. When it comes down to personal expression pages and opportunities, I don't go to MySpace. I don't go to things like this. I'm fascinated with video because I get to see how you use your techniques. And I also am fascinated with how people physically, audibly present themselves. And I am fascinated to the point that I do check out your personal pages on YouTube and see what your imagery is overall. And I'm not saying that you should do that at all for me or for others. It doesn't really matter. Ultimately, the point is you are perceived by your viewer at all times, whether filmed, whether in person, and maybe it's just you in nature. Your viewer is you. I can see myself. That's a blessing, but it means that I'm constantly within these. I'm constantly here. I'm always me. And that is the overarching purpose of what's going on here. And I think ultimately, regardless of how it's currently shaped on YouTube, I think ultimately what YouTube proves to us all as posters of ourselves is that we are as we are, if not entirely who we are. I hope that makes some sense.